progress. Character and self-control, my father. Integrity and manliness, my mother. Her reverence for the divine, her generosity, her inability not only to do wrong, but even to conceive of doing it. My great-grandfather, to avoid the public school, hire good private teachers, and accept the resulting costs as money well spent. My first teacher, not to support this side or that in chariot racing, this fighter or that in the games, to put up with discomfort and not make demands, do my own work, mind my own business and have no time for slanderers, do my own work, mind my own business and have no time for slanderers. Diagnosis, not to waste time on nonsense, not taken in by conjurers, not obsessed with quail fighting or other crazes like that, to hear unwelcome truths, to practice philosophy study, to write dialogues as a student, and to choose the Greek lifestyle. Cat bed and the cloak. Not to be sidetracked by interest in rhetoric, not to write treatises on abstract questions, or deliver moralizing little sermons, or compose imaginary descriptions of the simple life or the man who lives only for others. Steer clear of oratory, poetry, and bowels latches, not to dress up just to stroll around the house, write straightforward letters, to behave in a consideratory way, where people who have angered us want to make up, read attentively, not to be satisfied with just getting the gist of it, and not to fall for each smooth talker. Apollonius, independence and unvarying reliability, to pay attention to nothing, no matter how fleetingly, except the logos. The same in all circumstances, pain, loss of a child, chronic illness clearly, that a man can show both strength and flexibility. His patience and teaching, to have seen someone who clearly viewed his expertise and ability as a teacher as the humblest of virtues. To have learned how to accept favors from friends without losing your self-respect or appearing ungrateful. Example of fatherly authority in the home, what it means to live as nature requires, gravity without airs, to show intuitive sympathy for friends, tolerance to amateurs and sloppy thinkers, his ability to get along with everyone, to investigate and analyze with understanding and logic, the principles we ought to live by, not to display anger or other emotions, to be free of passion and yet full of love, to praise without bombast, to display expertise without pretension. Literary critic Alexander, not to be constantly correcting people, not to jump on them when they make an error, but just answer their question or add another example, or debate the issue itself, not their phrasing, or make some other contributions to the discussion. Pronto, to recognize the malice, cunning and hypocrisy the power produces, and the peculiar ruthlessness often shown by people from good families. Alexander the Platonist, not be constantly telling people I'm too busy, not be always ducking my responsibilities cause I'm pressing business, calculus, not to shrug off a friend's resentment, even unjustified resentment, but try to put things right, to show your teachers ungrudging respect, and your children unfeigned love.
does help you with, it helps you get things done. And when you get things done, when you actually do things, you have more success. A big part of success is just not being fucking lazy and just doing it. 90% of it is just showing up. Get there and start working. Like, you're not gonna feel perfect every day. If I only worked out when I felt good, I'd be a fat fuck. Because there's a lot of days I don't want to do it. I mean, it's pretty much the same with everybody that actually gets good at something. There's gotta be those days you push through. They're probably gonna be more numerous than the days you don't. And so the benefit of discipline in my eyes has always been that through discipline I get things done. I'm like the most lazy, disciplined person I know. Because I don't want to do it.
Let's go. Let's go.
Through discipline, I get things done. The bro goes to work. Through discipline, I get things done. This is what I do.
I also think that discipline is a pathway to creativity. When you're on the battlefield, is an absolute exercise in creativity. How are we going to attack them? How are we going to disorganize them? How are we going to get in their heads? That's all just massive creativity. And when I look at people that are artists, I would imagine the more disciplined you are, you got to write stuff down. You got to read. You got to increase your vocabulary so that you are quicker and sharper. So that when people are saying things, you have more words to battle back at them. All those things, all that freedom that you get on stage comes from the discipline. You study, you learn, you read, you write, you talk, you go through things. Is that an accurate statement?
Absolutely accurate.
Through discipline, I get things done. The bro goes to work. Through discipline, I get things done. This is what I do. Through discipline, I get things done. The bro goes to work. Through discipline, I get things done. This is what I do.
It doesn't matter if you're sick, doesn't matter if you have kids, you're a pro and you go to work. And you have pride in that. And then when you are in
There's a big problem here. The problem is, it's true. God only knows why. Maybe you're too short, or you're not as beautiful as you could be, or your grandparent was a serf. Likely, because almost everybody's great-grandparent was. You know, you're not as smart as you could be, and you have a sick relative, and you have your own physical problem. Frankly, you're a mess. Frankly, you're a mess. And you're oppressed in every possible way, including your ancestry and your biology. The entire sum of human history has conspired to produce victimized you with all your individual pathological problems. It's like, yes! True! God only knows why. Okay, but the problem is that it is true, and so if you take the oppressed, you have to fractionate them and fractionate them and fractionate them and fractionate them. It's like, you're a woman. Yeah, okay, well, I'm a black woman. Well, I'm a black woman who has 2 children. Well, I'm a black woman who has 2 children, and one of them isn't very healthy. And then, well, I'm a Hispanic woman, and I have a genius son who doesn't have any money so that he can't go to university. My husband is an alcoholic brute. It's like, well, yeah, that sucks too. And so, let's fix all your oppression. Let's fix all your oppression. Let's fix all your oppression. And we'll take every single thing into account, and we'll fix yours too. We'll take every single thing into account. It's like, no, you won't. No, you won't. No, you won't. Because you can't. You can't. It is technically impossible. You're oppressed, 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 you're oppressed. God only knows why. You're oppressed, 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 you're oppressed. First of all, you can't even list all the ways that you're oppressed. Second, how are you going to weight them? Third, who's going to decide? That's the bloody thing. Who's going to decide? Who's going to decide? That's the thing. You have to fractionate the oppressed all the way down to the level of the individual. Oh, that's what the West figured out. It's not an accident that the axiomatic Western individual is someone who is unfit, cross, and tortured. It's like, yes, right, exactly. You're oppressed, 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 you're oppressed. God only knows why. You're oppressed, 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 you're oppressed. So what do you do about that? Well, I thought about that for a long time too. It's like, well, you don't get together to damn law, because all that does is allow you to be as horrible as you could possibly imagine and suffer from none of the consequences. That's a bad idea. So how about we don't do that? Well, there's a deep idea in the West too. It's like, pick up your damn suffering and bear it. Try to be a good person so you don't make it worse. Well, that's a truth, you know? Akira. He's got clout.
But no, it's like commitment, man. It's like life is hard, right? Like, yeah, you might get hurt. It's like, you know, your heart might get broken. You know? It's it's like you might lose your job, but you still gotta commit, you know? And you gotta commit, right? You know what I mean? And you gotta commit, right? You know what I mean? And you gotta commit, right? You know what I mean? Don't hesitate. Go. Commit. You gotta commit. You know, don't hesitate. Go. Commit. You gotta commit. And it's like, you know, you meet somebody and, hey, you know, you like her and she likes you. When you hesitating, don't hesitate. Go. Commit. You gotta commit. You know, commit. You gotta commit. You know, commit. You gotta commit. You know.
I believe all of us humans have an equation like, you know, pi is 3.14. That's how you solve that equation. Every human being has a different equation. And there's not like some cookie cutter book of, hey, read this book and you'll be fixed. No. You gotta figure out your own personal equation. And once you figure out that equation, you now become a mathematical fucking genius. You gotta figure out your own personal equation. And once you figure out that equation, you now become a mathematical fucking genius. That's what this does. It makes you a fucking genius about who the fuck you are. And then from there, once you realize 3.14 is pi, you can solve any fucking equation in the world. That's what it's about.
What is divine deserves our respect because it is good. What is human deserves our affection because it is like us. What is divine deserves our respect because it is good. What is human deserves our affection because it is like us. Yo, nothing is more pathetic than people who run around in circles, delving into the things that lie beneath, and conducting investigation into the souls of the people around them, when all you have to do is pay attention to the power inside you and worship it sincerely. Keep it becoming muddled with turmoil, becoming aimless and dissatisfied with nature. Just worship it sincerely. Keep it becoming muddled with turmoil, becoming aimless and dissatisfied with nature. Divine and human. Divine deserves our respect because it is good. What is human deserves our affection because it is like us. What is divine deserves our respect because it is good. What is human deserves our affection because it is like us. Sometimes for his inability to tell good from bad is terrible, and blindness as the kind that can't tell white from black. Even if you're gonna live 3,000 more years or 10 times that, remember, you can't lose another life than this one. You can't live another down, you're losing. Longest amounts are the same as the shortest. The present is the same for everyone. His loss is the same for everyone. And it should be clear that a brief instant is all that is lost.
truths, of exquisite interrelationships, of the awesome machinery of nature.
substance of a tree is carbon. Where did that come from? That comes from the air. It's carbon dioxide from the air. People look at trees and they think it comes out of the ground. The plants grow out of the ground. But if you ask where the substance comes, you find out where does it come from. Trees come out of the air? They surely come out of the ground. No, they come out of the air. No, they come out of the air. The carbon dioxide in the air goes into the tree and changes it, kicking out the oxygen and pushing the oxygen away from the carbon and leaving the carbon substance with water. Water comes out of the ground. Only it came out of the air, didn't it? It came down from the sky. So going to, in fact, most of the trees, almost all of the trees is out of the ground. I'm sorry, it's out of the air. Now, of course, I told you, the oxygen and carbon stick together very tight. How is it the tree is so smart and managed to take the carbon dioxide, just the carbon oxygen nicely combined, and undo that? Life has some mysterious put. No, the sun is shining. And it's the sunlight that comes down and knocks this oxygen away from the carbon. So it takes sunlight to get the plant to work. And so the sun, all the time, is doing the work of separating the oxygen away from the carbon. The oxygen is some kind of terrible byproduct, which it spits back into the air, and leaving the carbon and water and stuff to make the substance of the tree. Then when we take the substance of the tree and stick it in the fireplace, there's all the oxygen made by these trees. And all the carbon would much prefer to be close together again. And once you let the heat to get it started, it continues and makes an awful lot of activity while it's going back together again. And all this nice light and everything comes out. And everything is being undone. You're going back to carbon and oxygen, back to carbon dioxide. And the light and heat that's coming out, that's the light energy of the sun that went in. So it's sort of stored sun that's coming out when you burn a log. So it's sort of stored sun that's coming out when you burn a log.
So it's sort of stored sun that's coming out when you burn a log. So it's sort of stored sun that's coming out when you burn a log.
So it's sort of stored sun that's coming out when you burn a log. So it's sort of stored sun that's coming out when you burn a log.
You know, it's funny, I never used to think about the fact about loving myself. I just wasn't that guy. The thing about loving myself came when I hit rock bottom. And I really hit bottom, and it was a desperate attempt to save myself. I really fundamentally believe in the power of commitment, and making commitments to yourself, you gotta keep them. And in this desperate moment, I made this vow to myself. I was at bottom. My company had fallen apart. I lost everything. I was really sick. I was miserable. I was depressed. One morning or one night, it was dark. And I just got out of my bed and I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. I'm either gonna get out of this or die trying. And I walked over to my journal, grabbed my pen, and I wrote. I knew I had to make a vow to myself to get out of this. I didn't know what. And I just sat down and I wrote, it was freehand.
I vow to love myself. 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 I vow to love myself.
Where that came from, I had no idea. I still don't. It was a pure primal vow. It came from like a deep place of literally I was trying to save myself. When I realized that, what I'd done, I was like, okay, I don't know how to do that. You gotta figure out, because I made a commitment to myself. And a vow to yourself is a sacred act. You do that, you keep it, and life will change. And I had to figure out how to do it.